horribly. It's horrible. It's cooked. It does not work. Now, to know what happened, we need to go back to the very beginning. So a few months ago, I went on the perilous journey of building my own server, a place where I could hold all of my information regarding my game projects, like shipping away, please wishlist on Steam, and just overall a place where I can feel at home and knowing for damn sure this belongs to me. And everything was working fantastic until disaster struck. And let me set the scene. It was one stormy night. It was pouring outside. Thunder was cracking, and I was comfy in my bed watching some offline TV until the power shut off. I was sad yet terrified. Then I suddenly remembered my Homelab. I ran to the living room, and there it was, dead on the floor. And the scene. So in essence, if you couldn't tell from that awesome short story that I should definitely make into a movie, I had a power outage. And this power outage has rendered my Homelab unusable. In case you're interested, stay till the end of the video and I'll tell you, yes, you, what went wrong, how to prevent it, and how I fixed my issue. But hey, you're here for the journey, not the destination. Now, I've had many power outages before, but man, this one was different. For my Windows PC, that shit tasted like a tank, but my server is a lot more delicate. So when the power shut off and when it started back on, my server was having so many problems. So boom, we're gonna make this fast. So one, when I will turn on my server, it will hang after it boots into the main Proxmox CLI. And all the configuration that I had on my VM that actually contained all my Docker apps, that's gone, that's out the window. My Open Media Vault, gone out the window. So yeah, man, that power outage was crazy. It really messed everything up. That really messed it up. It gave it a lot of issues and a lot of problems that I spent over the course of 2 weeks figuring out what went wrong. I was a very sad little boy over the course of those 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, I was constantly asking myself, what could I have done differently? And man, oh man, did I mess up. I broke like the golden rule when it comes to self-hosting your own infrastructure. And that rule was, drumroll please, power redundancy. And basically, power redundancy is having an alternate backup power source. So if your main power source dies, you still have another one to keep the lights on. So this leads into solution number 1, buy a UPS. Uninterruptible power source. Basically, it's a big ass battery. In case the power shuts off, your server remains on. Now, the purpose of a UPS is to give you enough time to make sure you're shutting down correctly. It's not a long-term solution. It's a buffer, right? In my case, I did not have one. Learn from me and you get yourself a UPS. So I had to buy one for $200. Man, you know, in this economy. So great. Now, if the power goes off, my computer is still on. Now, this solves the first issue, but when the power outage originally happened, it really messed up my server badly. I will turn on the server, right? The moment I'm in the command line, it will freeze. I will type in the password, nothing, it would just stay frozen. So after some investigation and taking a look at the boot logs, I saw that my containers on my server were trying to access my SSD but could not. And after even some more investigation, I realized that my SSD had media errors, resulting in my server deadlocking. Now, for the uninitiated, which I hope you're never initiated into the cult of the media error owners. And in case you didn't know what a media error was, you can basically think of it as such. A media error on an SSD basically means that the drive has ran into unreadable data, failed internal flash blocks, or a breakdown in data transmission between the memory chips and the controller. In my case, the media error happened due to the power outage, where it was writing something to the SSD, the power cut off in the middle of that write. When it turned back on, it just was corrupted, right? So that's basically what a media error is. It just renders that small block where the media error happens inaccessible. You're still able to use the other spaces on the drive, but the issue is that now the drive is compromised. You don't really know exactly where this is at. My ongoing theory is that the media error block, right, that portion was being used by one of the containers, because when I would launch Proxmox with the containers on, or if I just turn them off from Proxmox UI, it will freeze. It will crash the entire system. And the only way to solve it is to do a complete restart of the server. So this leads to solution number 2. Okay, I have a UPS. So great. Now, if the power goes off, my computer is still on. But we are not going to get far if our SSD is not working properly due to the media errors. So there are really just one way to clear it up, and it's to reformat the entire drive, right? And that will usually fix it, unless it's a hardware issue, unless there's physical damage on the chips itself. Now, in my case, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, to be honest. I found a good deal on an SSD, and I just bought it. It was like $30. I was like, and there it goes again. And yeah, I just bought a new one. So cheap SSD, still have my storage, we're good. So what I basically ended up doing is I took out my old SSD, out with the old and in with the new. So we have a new SSD. I did a fresh installation of Proxmox. I set everything up, so now it's good. Now the third thing is, if the power shuts off and I'm not here at home, what happens then? It's just gonna keep running for an additional 20, 30, 40 minutes until it turns off, and we're gonna have the same exact issue. The solution that you can do is you can actually listen to the battery life of the UPS, and when it reaches a certain threshold, you actually turn it off properly. You shut down everything using like a power off command or something like that. So those are the 3 things that I did in order to solve this issue. So a high level summary, because you know the attention span's cooked. I got you guys, don't worry. You can here's some Subway Surfers while I tell you what's going on. First, power off issue. Power off issue caused SSD issue. SSD issue caused Proxmox issue. So the solution was very simple. Get a UPS so it doesn't ever power off while it's on. Second solution is to listen to the battery life of the UPS, and based on that, you're able to power it off on time. And third, I did a fresh installation of Proxmox. Now, it's a bit tedious, but now it's working. And don't let this, don't let this discourage you from venturing out and have your own home lab, do your own self-hosting things, because these things happen. And it's just a learning experience. Learn from me. Now I know that I will always get a UPS. If your power shuts off, you're supposed to be resilient against that, which is something I totally failed. And it's funny because I graduated with an IT degree, so I should know this. And I work as a software developer and I deal with those types of things. But hey, I thought it wouldn't happen to me. And sure enough, it did. So don't be like me, protect your stuff. And I will see you on the next episode whenever it's uploaded of